Okay, so this will be the tiny house build, and you can see it right here. It's finished and everything, but so this will be like the front of the tiny house, and this is the back wall of the tiny house. This is the side of the tiny house, and just the layout of the roof that you'll need for your tiny house. So once this is all drawn out complete, then you'll be given the materials, and you should be able to build the exact same model, okay, using these plans. Okay, so let's see how this kind of lays out. These are 92 inches tall. Then it has 2x4s. You draw them 2 inches by 4 inches, and that should draw them to the right size. So 2 inches by 4 inches, considered a 2x4 in that size. So keep that in mind. So when you're looking at sizes here, and I go in dimension, and this is like the 2x4 on its side, so it'd be 2 inches that direction. Okay, and then so let's look at this length right here, and we'll go in and see what our length is real quick. So we're at 288 inches. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. Okay, 288 inches. So I'm going to come over here to my little other area, so you can kind of see me draw it here. Okay, so if we're not used to drawing in AutoCAD, so hopefully you got the default. Make sure you loaded this default drawing. It's out there in the Google Classroom. And then you just pick line. And I just start by picking. You can move it around later, but just pick a starting point. And this is called rubber banding. So you pick a starting point, and then you can pull it the direction you want it to go. But hit F8 on your keyboard will help you draw straight. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out, and I'm just going to point it the direction I want it to go, and I'm going to type in 288 inches, which was what the first one was, and hit enter. Okay, and then I want to set this off 2 inches for the thickness of right here. So you see that right there. Okay, so then I'm going to offset. I'm going to come up here, and there's offset right there next to array. I click offset. Then I want to tell it how much I want to offset. So I'm going to say 2 for 2 inches. And I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to pick that line and then bring it up. So there's my bottom baseboard right there. The bottom plate, as you will, of my house wall. Okay, just something like that. Okay, and then we found out, let me hit escape. Anytime you run into a problem and you don't know sure what program or command you're in, just hit escape and get out of it on the top of the keyboard, top left there. Okay, so I want a dimension, just so we can double check. Okay, so these are 140 inch. Oh, that's the big one. So 140 inches tall for the tall wall. So we'll do that one first. What does it say? 140 inches. Okay, and so we'll do a line. We'll start right here. We'll do 140. And just type in 140, you'll know that it's inches. Okay, and then I'm going to offset this over. So I'm going to click offset again, type in 2, hit enter, and offset over 2 inches. Okay, alright, so now that I have this, I'm going to, it's really not needed, but I'm going to close the top of the little 2x4 off. And now what I'm going to do is draw this wall across. Okay, so I'm going to draw this across. I'm going to copy these basically all the way across. You can do other things, but copy for our first attempt here is probably the best thing to do. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is also right here, I need a little midpoint, so I'm going to draw a little line across these 2 points right there. So then you can see that midpoint's going to show up right there, see? Okay, and if your midpoints aren't on, you can turn them on easily by clicking on this and go into your snap settings, go to object snaps, and make sure your object snaps are turned on. So there's midpoint, endpoint, center, and you can change these if you ever need them, but there they are. Okay, so then I'm going to offset this over, and so I want 16 inches on center for my little house. So I'm going to do offset. I'm going to type in 16, hit enter, and then all I'm going to do is bring this line over. until I can't put any more on my deal. And these are just construction lines, so I will get rid of these once I have them drawn in. So I have all that. Just keep going. Okay. There should be, so there's one. That'll just end up being one on the end right there. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to hit escape, get out of that command. Then I want to copy these. There's other commands I could use, array or something like that, but I'm just going to use copy. It's easy to do. I'm going to pick copy. And I'm going to select everything that I want to copy. So I select all that. I'm going to hit enter. And then it's going to ask for a midpoint. It says copy base point. So my base point is right there at that end point of that line, or the midpoint of those two lines there. Okay, so I'm going to just bring these over just like that, and just keep going all the way across. Make sure I get that end point and not nearest. I probably should have turned off nearest, but make sure you have end point. Picked right like that. Just keep going. Okay, and we're almost there. And then this one, I'll stop and copy that one. I want to copy it right to the edge here, so I'm going to just do copy. I'm going to select those two lines so it gets both of them. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to pick that end point right there and then just pull it over. Bam, like that. Okay, and then I don't need these anymore, I don't think, so I'm going to get rid of those. Okay. Then I have the top of my wall up here, so I'm going to put a line across, all the way across, bam, like that. And then I'm going to offset this up, just like I did the bottom one down there, 2 inches. So I do offset, type in 2 for 2 inches, hit enter, pick the line I want to offset, and then the direction I want to offset it. Okay, and then on my line command, just pick that, and that's nearest. I don't really like using nearest, but I'm going to turn that off probably. But use those endpoints if possible. Makes it a little bit neater and less chances of mistakes. Okay, so there's my top little wall. We'll do doors later. So, but there's the top one. So you can complete this one, and we'll be ready for the next video. So we'll be ready for the next video. All right. So there's your first wall. Good luck on your tiny house build.